Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to News Dose. So it seems like we got another rumor for PlayStation Project Spartacus, that quote-unquote Xbox Game Pass competitor, and now thanks to a new sighting, there's a belief growing within the community that we could get an imminent announcement for this service, maybe even possibly in the month of February. Yeah, if all of this happens, I mean, this could be right around the corner, so we're going to go over that one today. And then also, we did get some more details on that Xbox Monster Hunter style game that leaked out online. It does seem like we got some more information on that. And also, it sounds like that studio is actually working on another project for Xbox that I think is going to create quite a bit of conversation, so we will go over that one here a little bit as well. Speaking of Xbox, though, to get things started off today, we are going to be talking about the Xbox Games with Gold lineup for the month of February. And, well, I mean, it is a lineup, I can say that much. There's 4 games here. I don't know how much you're actually going to want to play them, and it's about like every other month by this point for Xbox Games with Gold. Don't go in with any kind of expectations, but if you find something here that you like, fantastic. But yeah, let's just go and check out the lineup here, which includes Broken Sword 5, The Serpent's Curse, which will be available from February 1st to February 28th. Then you have Hydrophobia releasing on February 1st and will be available until February 15th. Then Band of Bugs from the 15th to the 28th. And last but not least, Aerial Knights Never Yield from the 16th to March 15th. So there you have it. And like I said, I mean, this is about what you kind of expect from Xbox Games with Gold by this point. I'm not saying that these are bad games. Broken Sword, that's actually a pretty good franchise right there. Broken Sword is a pretty good point-and-click adventure style franchise, so if you want to check out Broken Sword 5, you can absolutely do that. I've also heard some pretty decent things about Hydrophobia, so there might be some fun with some of the games here, but I think it's pretty clear by this point. Xbox is really focused more on Xbox Game Pass by this point, and Games with Gold, it seems to be a bit of an afterthought by this point. Really, I think when you see lineups like this kind of month in and month out for Xbox Games with Gold, I think for a lot of fans, you're just kind of wondering, when is Xbox going to phase out Xbox Live Gold? That has been up for debate for a few years now, though it doesn't really seem like Microsoft is quite ready to do that just yet, and I imagine that's probably because they're waiting for Xbox Game Pass to grow even further. It's currently at 25 million subscriptions, so I think the more it grows, the more likely it becomes that they'll eventually get rid of Xbox Live Gold. Okay, so next up, let's go and talk about Elden Ring, as this game is right around the corner now. It's almost hard to believe, but it is set to release next month on February 25th, and we are starting to get more details about this game. Obviously, this is one of the most anticipated games of the year for a very specific type of fan, and that's the thing about From Software, is because with these games, they know their market. They know their fans' expectations when it comes to these games, and they want a challenge. And it does look like Elden Ring will once again be a challenging game. However, they did say that they believe that more people will complete this game because of how Elden Ring is approached. You can actually take a look here at their comment where they said, "In Elden Ring, we have not intentionally tried to lower the game's difficulty, but I think more players will finish it this time. As I mentioned, the player's level of freedom to progress through the world to return to a challenge later are all elements that I feel will help people get through the game at a more leisurely pace. Also, there isn't a focus on pure action. The player has more agency to dictate their approach against. For example, the field bosses in the overworld and how they utilize stealth in various situations. We've even reduced the number of hoops that you have to jump through to enjoy it in multiplayer. So we hope the players embrace the idea of receiving help from others, and we feel like the overall clear rate will go up this time because of these things." And that's actually a really good point, because the multiplayer in the Souls games have not always been implemented very well. You can try to bring people into your world, but a lot of times you're just kind of standing around waiting, and if you want to bring one of your friends there, well, that has not always been an easy thing to do. But typically when you do bring a co-op partner into these games, it does get significantly easier. So just by making the multiplayer aspect to Elden Ring easier than past entries, yeah, that actually could drive up the completion rate for Elden Ring, and for that matter, this might just end up being a sneaky good cooperative game if it's actually implemented correctly for a change. Let's go ahead and talk about PlayStation though, as Project Spartacus continues to remain in the rumor mill, and this time it's about an imminent announcement. Yeah, the belief and speculation is starting to point at this being announced as early as next month in February. So this could be right around the corner, though at the same time, I think it's important to keep in mind to take all of this with a grain of salt until we get official confirmation. Nonetheless, though, let's go and take a look at why fans are starting to believe that it could be announced in the month of February, and that's because of a subtle little change within PlayStation Plus's announcement. So every single month, Sony announces the PlayStation Plus lineup, which includes a nice little graphic that they'll put out online. This includes the games of the month and what platforms they're releasing on, but interestingly enough, they changed the fine print just a little bit for the month of February. So what's happening here is that typically when it comes to these PlayStation Plus graphics, in the fine print it'll say for PlayStation Plus members, and it's been this way month in and month out when it comes to these graphics. But all of a sudden, amidst all of these quote-unquote Xbox Game Pass competitor rumors, well, they changed that fine print to say available this month at no extra cost. It no longer mentions PlayStation Plus, and that's where a lot of the speculation has led to maybe they have something else to announce, because keep in mind, the rumor is that they are going to be combining PlayStation Plus with PlayStation Now to create this new service. They will have some different tiers, and one of the tiers will include backwards compatibility for PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and even the PlayStation Portable. Now, I'm still very skeptical about all of this and whether or not this is going to happen the way some fans are expecting. I'll kind of get into that here in just a moment. But it is interesting that once again we are seeing something like this pop up amidst all of the rumors. As I've pointed out before, this is not the first time that we've seen some kind of hint that something is happening behind closed doors. Not long ago, there was a patent that was spotted online that included backwards compatibility. Then just a couple of days ago, a lot of reports was going around that users was having some kind of error that was wiping out their trophies for PlayStation 4 games, and it was being replaced by a corrupt PlayStation 3 logo, which this led to the belief that maybe Sony was kind of messing around in the back end and they messed something up themselves, which actually that could happen. And now we're also seeing them change something here with PlayStation Plus in terms of the fine print. So maybe they actually do have an announcement coming next month. It does seem like a lot of coincidences are happening here among all of the rumors. The backwards compatibility is coming to PlayStation sometime here soon, and that'll be a part of Project Spartacus. So on the surface, it does seem like things are lining up for an announcement to happen sometime soon, and I really do hope that that is the case, because I want to see exactly what this service is. I've said before that I'm a little skeptical on some of the things that we've been hearing, because we haven't really heard anything specific. All we've really heard so far is that it's going to be combining PlayStation Plus with PlayStation Now, and it has some form of backwards compatibility, though we don't know if that's through streaming or if it's done locally. We don't know if it's going to have day one releases or not. We just don't know much about this service right now. So there's a lot of questions to remain here, and I do think that that's important, because I have been noticing a lot of hype being built around this service, large part because we are seeing news outlets such as Bloomberg describe it as an Xbox Game Pass competitor. But I feel like that could lead to disappointment if it doesn't equal Xbox Game Pass. What if it doesn't have those day one first party releases? What if it's streaming backwards compatibility? So that's where I think fans need to kind of just wait for the announcement before setting their expectations too high. I'm hoping for the best, but at the same time, I'm trying to keep my expectations in check here, and I really would encourage everybody to do that as well. Here's to hoping that speculation is correct, though, and we'll get some of those answers for Project Spartacus next month in February. Moving on, though, we do also have some Xbox news, as that Monster Hunter style game continues to leak out online. We did talk about this yesterday, as Jeff Grubb did leak that Xbox inked a deal with certain Affinity to work on a Monster Hunter style of game. On paper, this sounds like it has some potential, and it's a perfect fit for Xbox Game Pass, as it can grow alongside Xbox Game Pass. Of course, Monster Hunter World was available in Game Pass there for a long time, but in a situation like this, this game will just stay in Xbox Game Pass forever. So I think it is a very smart move for Xbox to sign a deal with a highly talented developer such as Certain Affinity to work on a game like this. Nonetheless, though, the big question right now is this leak true or not? And Jeff Grubb is a reliable source, but now we're actually hearing from a second outlet that this is indeed true after all. This is coming from Jez Corden this time over on Windows Central, which again, just like Jeff Grubb, he has a really good track record with this type of stuff. Jez Corden has leaked out a lot of Xbox games over the last couple of years, which have turned out to be true. And here he did say that from his own separate sources, he can confirm that this game is a real thing after all. On top of that, he did also include a few new details, including its project name, which is Project Suerte. Though the more interesting thing here is that he actually talks about when this game started development and when it's expected to release. He does say that according to the information I've received over the last few months, Project Suerte has been in development since the summer of 2020 and is likely slated for a 2023 reveal and 2024 release, although it may come a bit sooner or later depending on the dynamism and variables that often comes with game development. So we could actually see this game as early as next year in 2023, and I am definitely really interested to see how this one is going to turn out. Like I said before, I feel like the Monster Hunter genre is a bit untapped. There for a while on the Vita, I mean, we were getting quite a few of these Monster Hunter games, but they were typically made in Japan, and this was before Monster Hunter World blew up worldwide. So I am curious to see what Certain Affinity will do with this genre with Xbox's backing. Hopefully it'll be a good one that has a long life over on Xbox Game Pass. Now, something else interesting that Jez Corden said here, though, is that Certain Affinity is not just working on a new Monster Hunter style game for Xbox, but they also have something else happening for Xbox as well, and this one is for Halo Infinite. Of course, Certain Affinity has primarily been a support studio over the years, and they have worked on several Halo games, including Halo Infinite, so this shouldn't be overly surprising, but he does say here, I've received some separate hints that Certain Affinity may also be working on a new game mode for Halo Infinite, which could be a take on the popular Battle Royale formula or something completely different entirely. Now, the thing that is creating a lot of discussion here is him saying it's possible that it could be a Battle Royale game mode for Halo Infinite. He doesn't flat out say that is what it is, but it is a possibility. And that's the thing when it comes to Halo, because there seems to be some very mixed responses when people start talking about Battle Royale. Much of the Halo community is against the idea of a Battle Royale because these are more of arena style of shooters. So some people believe that Battle Royale just doesn't have a place within Halo at all. Now, I myself, I am not a big fan of Battle Royale. I have stated this several times in the past. I much prefer an arena shooter. But at the same time, I do know that 343 wants Halo Infinite to last for 10 years, so yeah, they're going to add a lot of things over the years, and I do think that there is a possibility that we could eventually see a Battle Royale style of game mode within Halo Infinite. That would bring an entirely different fan base over to Halo, and it could possibly coexist with the current offerings as they are now. But that's kind of the thing when it comes to Halo Infinite. I think we should just expect a lot of things to be added into Halo Infinite throughout the generation. Not only do they have things like co-op and Forge in development, but as we're hearing here with Certain Affinity, sounds like they have a new game mode planned as well, and I'm sure that's just the tip of the iceberg. I would expect a lot of things to come to Halo Infinite throughout this generation. Let's go move on over to the poll of the day, though, and with so much discussion revolving around Activision Blizzard and the future of Call of Duty, I wanted to ask you all, do you think Xbox should drop the annual Call of Duty release schedule once the acquisition is complete? We have been hearing this might actually happen, so I wanted to know your all's thoughts, and well, 84% of you said yes, while only 13% of you said no. So there you have it. The wide majority of you all are absolutely tired of the annual release schedule when it comes to Call of Duty. And I'm really not surprised by this at all. It does seem like the Call of Duty franchise in terms of quality did go down. You know, the thing for me is that I actually really enjoyed these games back whenever I was in high school playing games like Call of Duty 4, World at War, Black Ops, and so on and so forth. I really enjoyed it back then. But then, as they just continued to release these on a yearly basis, they just became stale, and it just never felt like that they were actually improving the game. So yeah, I'm in agreement here. I would love to see them go away from the annual releases for Call of Duty, and this is one of the reasons that I really like the idea of Xbox acquiring Activision Blizzard. Activision has just gotten to this point where they primarily focus on the Call of Duty franchise, and it's gotten so bad that they now have more than 10 of their studios working on Call of Duty games. That is absolutely ridiculous, and this is why I'm not against the acquisition whatsoever. Under Xbox's leadership, we're already hearing that they're more than likely going to be making changes here. They're going to do away with the annual releases, and they're probably going to be taking those studios and say, hey, we're going to give you creative freedom. We're going to let you do what you want. And because of this, this is going to add more variety back into the game industry. We're going to possibly see more games like Crash Bandicoot. We're going to see Spyro the Dragon again. We might even get old games like Hexen. Yeah, we might get less Call of Duty games, but as you can see here, a lot of people very much believe that that is exactly what needs to happen. So this could end up dramatically improving the quality for the Call of Duty franchise as they're given more time to make these games. Again, this is why I'm not against this acquisition myself. Anyways, though, that's it for this episode, but if you like the video, don't forget to hit the bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for making this content possible. Peace out.